Well, hello, Quest. Good to see you. And here we are in the latter parts of August, preparing for a whole new year, at least a school year. That's kind of how we function as a culture in so many ways. It's really not, January through December. We really function kind of late August, through until May, and then we take off the summer. It's kind of the way we function. So here we are starting a whole new school year. And there are several things I'd love to focus on today as I just share with you a little bit. But one of those is the reality of this school year starting. And I'm in touch with it a little bit more, but only because of Diane, my wife, who is a teacher and teaches 7th grade language arts. And I watch her in the incredible amount of work that she does and the incredible amount of heart that she puts into it. And that's true for thousands and thousands of teachers across our region. And what if I just talked about Rockwood just for a second, which is in our immediate school district. They work so amazingly hard. And it represents roughly 20,000 students in that time. So I just did some rough math, very approximating. But what that equals into for all the time that the teachers put in, and all the time that the students put in, and all the time that the staff put in, which is in a giant, it's somewhere in the vicinity of about 30, maybe 32, 34 million hours collectively during this coming school year. Can you imagine that? 30, 35 million hours among the kids, the teachers, the staff, everyone involved. That's a lot of investment. And you think about how profoundly important that is. And that just counts the public school. What if we went to the private schools and homeschooling? You're going to multiply that by a bunch. And you're going to be over 40 million hours that are going to be worked at and invested in the lives of these students. So I think that's a pretty big deal. Now, this week, Friday the 23rd, we are going to celebrate the end of the first week of school with a food truck night here in our parking lot. And so there's going to be a couple of food trucks. There's going to be a dessert truck. There's going to be some pony rides. There's going to be some games to play. Hopefully, even unless they're out on a call, we'll have the fire department here with a truck. We're just going to have a lot of fun. We want to celebrate the end of that first week because we want to be a part of the life of our community, right? That's why we're doing this. We want to be a part of that thing. We're a people in and for this community. And to do that, we're going to have relationships. And so to have relationships means let's be together. Let's be eyeball to eyeball. And kind of check out what life's all about together, right? And so that's why we're doing this. So looking forward to that. And bring your friends, your neighbors, just celebrating our community in a very unique way. And so let's be a part of that. I also want to focus a little bit on just this whole summer we spent in a series on the 10 Commandments. And I want to just reemphasize why that was important and why we did that. One is those 10 Commandments seem to have been kind of jettisoned, kind of rejected by our culture, or just said, hey, let's not make it visible. We want to think about it. We don't want to talk about it. Let's not do that. But I think in a very clear way, when God kind of squeezes it all down and kind of shrinks it all down, there are certain things. Most importantly, that he said, you take all the law and the prophets, and it says to love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength, and that you would love your neighbor as if they were you. You love them that deeply. Now, for those Israelites that were coming out of Egypt and kind of reintroducing themselves to this relationship with God, he gave them 10 commandments to guide the way that they would relate to him as God and to one another as people. And these commandments are so applicable to real life, the way we function as a culture, as a society, as people, as a community. And to respect that in each other, and that there are certain things to do and not do so that we don't destroy each other, undermine one another, the community in which we live. And so these are incredibly helpful guidelines about how to live. Now, there's a secondary piece that when we look at those commandments, which are all good, healthy, solid, real, helpful things, that when we look at those, unfortunately, we find that we've broken them. In fact, the scriptures say if you've broken one, you've broken them all. And when I look at them, it's very easy to determine that I have fallen short of the glory of God very clearly. And so that the sin in my life needs a solution. This weekend, we're going to talk about what happened after those commandments were given and how we could relate to that and how they related to it, and especially in light of their leader, Moses. What did they do? So, for us, we need a solution to the problem that I've broken those commandments. And I have. So, and that's the glory of the gospel, of the sacrificial coming of Christ to give himself in order for me to be forgiven, set free, to be who real God really designed me to be, rather than keep searching for answers by violating who God is and violating who we are between ourselves, right? So that's where we're headed. We're going to wrap that up. We're coming this year, we're going to focus on the letter from Paul to the church in Corinth. It's called 1 Corinthians. And it is a very unique letter to a very unique church that has a lot of qualities like us here in West County. So, looking forward to that big time. But I hope you're well, and we look forward to seeing you. Love you guys. Take care.